Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave. This is day 12 of the March Daily Draws. So let's see what message we get today. And I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch, Ostara Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Hanged Woman here, because it's a woman, but it's the Hanged Man in all, this traditional name for it. This, maybe we need to be willing to change our perspective on something. Maybe we've been looking at something a certain way and we're not seeing what we need to see because we're not looking at it from the right angle. We're not looking at it from the right viewpoint. We need to perhaps shift our position a little mentally or and maybe even physically, just a little, depending on the situation. Sometimes, if you had a tree and you were looking directly at the tree and there was something behind the tree, but you couldn't see it because the tree was blocking you from seeing it. As long as you were in your current viewpoint, you would not be able to see the item, the object, whatever it was behind the tree. Does it mean it isn't there? The object is still behind the tree. You just can't see it because from your position, the tree's blocking it. Your sight cannot see past the tree. If you take a step, maybe even half a step, depending on the size of the tree, half a step, 2 steps, even, at least part, if not all, of the object will suddenly come into vision because you'll be, instead of looking at the tree straight on, you'll be looking at the tree from a certain angle where you can see the tree, but you can also see something behind the tree. And once you see at least part of it, you may be able to adjust a little bit more in order to be able to see the object completely. That was always there, but you had to change your position, you had to change your viewpoint in order to see it. Likewise, there may be something about ourselves or a situation that is there to be seen, but we can't see it because from our vantage point, from our viewpoint, it's blocked. We can't see past what we're immediately seeing. The only way we can see what it is we need to see is to even just it doesn't have to be a big stride, just a couple of steps. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of adjustment, but just enough for being able to see what it is that we need to see. So maybe the way we're thinking about it is because this is the way this is the viewpoint we've always looked at things from. But maybe if we at least try and move our viewpoint, sort of say, what if? You don't have to automatically totally accept and adopt another perspective or viewpoint. You could try it out. You could say, well, what if this was this? What if I looked at it from this point of view? What difference would it make, if any? So just see if you can imagine yourself in looking at it from a different angle, from a different viewpoint, from a different point of understanding, different to the one you normally hold. Um, Sometimes that can be hard, and because we want to hold on to that familiar stance and viewpoint. But getting ourselves in the right position to see what we need to see is the message here. Do what it takes. And it may only take a little adjustment, as I said, for suddenly the thing you need to see to come into view, and you will suddenly realize, oh, now I see. And you'll see things literally differently because you dared to change your stance just a little and ask well, what if this current position is too narrow, is too wrong? What if I just adjust it a little? What does that unlock for me? It's hard to describe because it's a bit without knowing a particular situation, but you will know what we're talking about. That it's maybe something about yourself or your situation, maybe yourself in a situation, and you're viewing things the same way as you always have viewed it. But maybe and there's some element of truth to it, because the tree, well, going back to the tree analogy, the tree is there. You're not seeing something that isn't there. The tree is there to be seen, but it's not the full picture. You're not seeing something else that is also there to be seen, but not in view at the moment. So to get the full picture, you're not relinquishing your sight of the tree necessarily, but you're just altering the way you're looking, where you're coming from, where your viewpoint is, to see both the tree and the other thing that was hidden behind it. And then you get a full picture then of what's there in the situation, and it will open up all kinds of possible solutions, and it'll give you at least a better understanding and a new way of approaching the situation that you hadn't considered before, until you were willing to change your viewpoint, if only just a little. So a little bit of flexibility in our viewpoint, no matter how uncomfortable initially it makes us feel. We may feel safe standing in our viewpoint where we're at. But if we go out of that comfort zone and just change it just a little, even theoretically, something may occur to us that hadn't occurred to us before. It was there to occur to us. It was always a reality. It was always a truth to be revealed. But when we are open and flexible enough, then it suddenly becomes visible to us, and we can respond accordingly. So this card says to us today, be open to looking at situations and yourself and other people from a different viewpoint that will allow you to not only see what you see now, but maybe gain some further insight into the situation. So that, I believe, is what the Hanged Woman, the Hanged Man card is saying to us today. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. We have Jasmine. Got the triple hair moon there, in the moon there, and you've got movement got the hairs here, you got movement going around. It is through yourself that divinity is able to weave magic. So, yeah, and we've got the crescent moon there. We've got the beginnings of something that, in the form of, I think, an egg there, is it? There's flowers here. I love how there's like a little, like, sun sort of light symbol, the star or something that's right above her head. And it's like off sometimes where we used to get, not so much here, you just get the reflection here. So maybe many times to reflect from a different perspective. But sometimes you'll get like the halo kind of thing in other cards. And this is like, the enlightenment. Suddenly the light bulb moment comes and you see it. And because it's through us that divinity is able to weave magic, but we may need to see ourselves in a new light, see our situation in a new light in order for that to be possible. And once we realize that the thing we need to realize, and that light bulb moment comes on, then that's what will open the way for the magic to work in the situation through us. So let's be open to changing that viewpoint until we can see what we need to see. And that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 13. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.